Good morning, scholars and families. Today is Wednesday, April 8th. Today for math, we're going to be still focusing on fractions. So I want to take some time to think about our objective. This week we've been saying, today I will be able to equally partition rectangles into rows and columns. So let's take some time to think about what rows and columns are. Some of us have got it, and some of us are still working, and that's a-okay. We want to make sure that when we're not quite understanding something, that we don't just leave it behind. I know it can be frustrating, but we want to also make sure that we take time to understand things. It doesn't always happen in one day. When we think of the word partition, it means that we are dividing up a shape. So in this case, we're dividing up rectangles. Partition means we're dividing them up. So we're taking one piece and we're cutting it into smaller pieces. Now, when we think of the word row, remember we said we have that word horizontal. Everybody say horizontal. When we're thinking about rows, they go from side to side. You can notice here, they go from left to right, and they are the blocks that we're cutting up inside. So not the line themselves, but the block that we're cutting up. Do you see how I have 1, 2, 3 rows in my example? And for columns, we are making vertical lines, vertical shapes. So the space that we have goes up to down, and it's this space that we cut up inside the rectangle. They're vertical. Let's do a couple of examples. Now, today if I wanted to draw my rectangle, you're going to see in your activity today that you're going to have a rectangle, and you're going to have some arrows, and you're going to have a dot that you're going to connect them to. So when you're doing that, you're going to take the red marker for rows, you're going to draw it straight across and straight across. Let's take a look. How many rows do we have? We only drew 2 lines, but look at, we have 1, 2, 3 rows. Remember, the rows are the part of the rectangle that we're breaking up. You see how we broke up the rectangle? We partitioned it into 3 different parts. Now, I'm going to use a black marker because that's all I have. But in your assignment today, you're going to see another rectangle, and you're going to be making columns there. Remember, columns go up and down. So you're going to see the same thing. You're going to see arrows and a little dot, and you're going to connect those. So see how I only had to draw 2 lines to connect the arrows and the dots? Well, remember, I don't care about the lines. I'm looking for the columns. The columns are the part of the rectangle that I partitioned or divided and cut up. So I have 1, 2, 3. So when we do that, you can see we're looking for the part of the rectangle. Do you hear that word part in partition? Partition, part. Okay, now when we look for our equal squares, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to put them together. So if I'm doing my rows, it hasn't changed. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to draw my 2 lines, and I know that still gave me 1, 2, 3 rows. I'm going to find my arrows. Oops. Change colors because these are columns now. I'm going to change my color, and I'm going to draw the line down, but I'm going to look for how many columns I have. Those are the partitioned, the parts of the rectangle we divided. I divided it into 1, 2, 3 parts. So see how I still have 3 rows and 3 columns? Now I can go ahead and count up my equal shares. That's how many equal pieces I divided my rectangle into. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9 equal shares. Okay, in your math activity today, you're going to see that. I also really appreciate those of you for your problem of the day who've been highlighting those keywords. That's making sure we understand what are we looking for when we read a problem. We want to make sure we have all the key information. All right, guys, have an awesome day, and I'll see you soon.